In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace a front knuckle assembly on a Ford Escape. It is located behind the front wheel. After you raised and supported the vehicle safely, you need to remove your 5 3/4-inch lug nuts. If your wheel doesn't want to come off, you can hit it with a rubber mallet from behind. And then remove your wheel. Once we remove our wheel, we need to remove our axle nut. Our axle nut is a 1 inch and 1/4. Now you need to remove your outer tie rod from your knuckle. That's held on by a 15mm nut. Once you remove that nut, you can strike your knuckle with the rubber hammer to remove your outer tie rod from your knuckle. On the back side of the rotor on top of the knuckle, you have your ABS sensor. You need to unplug that by just pressing this tab and pulling straight out. On the back side of our knuckle, we have our 2 18mm bolts that hold our caliper with our caliper bracket. We need to remove those. Slide your caliper bracket with the caliper off the rotor and hang it off to the side. Now you can remove your rotor. Your lower ball joint has a pinch bolt that is an 18mm nut on one side, 15mm bolt head on the other side. You need to remove that. Now that we removed our pinch bolt, we need to remove our lower control arm from our knuckle with a tool like this. Now you need to remove your axle from your knuckle. You can push your knuckle out, pull your axle back in the opposite direction. You can take a pry bar, pry in between your knuckle and the axle to help you out. Now you need to remove your 15mm bolt where the top part of your knuckle meets the strut. Once you remove your pinch bolt, tap the top part of your knuckle with the hammer so it slides out from the strut. And there's your knuckle. Before we install our new knuckle on our vehicle, we need to transfer over our ABS sensor. Our sensor is held in by a T25 Torx bolt. Once we remove our bolt, remove our sensor by pulling straight up. Take your sensor, install it into the new knuckle, and reinstall your bolt. Before you install your new knuckle, take some time and clean up your surface on the bottom of your strut. You can use a piece of sandpaper. You want to get this really clean and smooth so that knuckle will slide up onto the strut. Before you install your knuckle, there's a tab on the back side of your strut right here. That tab goes in that groove. Your knuckle has a tight fit around your strut. If that happens, you can take a punch and spread this part open. Just be aware not to spread it open too much because you'll crack the knuckle. Once your knuckle is in place, install your bolt. And tighten it. Now reinstall your axle back into your knuckle. Let's reinstall your ball joint back into your knuckle. Now you can install your nut and bolt. You can torque your lower ball joint bolt at 61 foot-pounds. And you can torque your upper strut mount at 65 foot-pounds. Now reinstall your outer tie rod and your nut. Now torque that nut down to 35 foot-pounds. Now you can install your axle nut and tighten it down. Before you install your rotor, you can take some anti-seize, put a little bit around this area, and install your rotor. Here's a tech tip for you. You can take a lug nut, install it onto your stud, and that's going to keep your rotor straight. So when you go to install your caliper, it'll stay nice and straight. Now you can reinstall your caliper. Then you can torque those two at 59 foot-pounds. Now we're going to remove our lug nut. Now we can torque our axle nut to 97 foot-pounds. At this point, you can have a friend sit in the driver's seat, put his foot on the brake so the rotor does not move. If you do not have a friend, you can just use a trusty wrench. Install it like that and torque it yourself. Now reconnect your connector onto your ABS sensor. Wait for the click. Now you can put your wheel on, torque it down, take it for a road test. If you don't hear any funny noises, bring it to a shop and get your front end aligned. Reinstall your wheel over the studs and install your 5 lug nuts. Now you want to tighten your 5 lug nuts up in a star pattern. You want to torque your lug nuts down to 100 foot-pounds in a star pattern.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.